Okay, we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to be making use of Oracle VirtualBox to install Linux. Otherwise, I would need to have some elaborate setup with cameras, etc., to set it up on a physical drive on a machine. But yeah, I don't have that set up, and it's really not necessary to do it that way. When you set up a operating system on a virtual machine program like VirtualBox, it's pretty much exactly the same as you would do on a physical machine. So I think this is a very good way to show you how to do it. And let's continue. Alright, so first off, create a new virtual machine. Because this course is for Linux Mint, I'm just going to name it Linux Mint. And let's check. I can always delete this later because I don't want to actually install it there. So okay, this is just for myself, so delete that part. Okay, continue. Alright, so keep it on Linux, the Linux type. So VirtualBox you can get from the Oracle. Just type in Oracle VirtualBox in Google and it's probably one of the first links. Go to it and you can download it and install it from there. If you do need any help installing it or any guidance installing it, the Oracle VirtualBox, just message me on Udemy or on my Facebook page and I will get in touch with you. I'll help you. But it should be really simple. So yeah, once you started VirtualBox, new Linux Mint, choose the location of your actual, how can I put it, because this is going to create a virtual PC and then you're going to install Linux on top of that virtual PC. Alright, virtual computer, which is called a virtual machine. So mine is going to sit here in my folder under my name on my C drive, so you can just select anywhere where you want to install it. Type Linux. It's Linux Mint is a Ubuntu distribution, so leave it on there, and the Linux Mint that I'm going to install is 64-bit. Alright, memory size. Depends on how much memory you have on your machine. I only have 8 GB RAM, so I'm just going to leave it on 1 GB for now. Do not add a virtual hard disk. Create a virtual hard disk now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use an ISO, a Linux ISO file that I downloaded from one of the Linux websites. In this case I downloaded Linux Mint from the Linux Mint website, the ISO file .iso, so that's a DVD file. So what I'm going to do is create a virtual hard disk now, and then I'm going to use that ISO and install Linux from there onto this virtual hard disk. Okay, so create. I can't remember how big the file was, so let's just make it dynamically allocated storage on physical hard disk. Okay, so that can change the size of your virtual hard disk automatically whenever it needs to be bigger. Okay, so you have a selection here. I'm not going to go into the details because this is not what the course is about, so I'm just going to choose the first one. Okay, and yes, my Linux Mint virtual machine. So that's like a computer now with nothing on it. The hard drive is empty, nothing is on this virtual computer here. On this virtual computer I have Kali Linux Lite. On this virtual computer I have 64-bit Kali Linux full installation. But anyway, okay, so let's go. Let's go to settings, right click settings, and then you want to go to storage, and you want to go to this one, disk, and SATA is obviously the hard drive, which I activated. The size is dynamically controlled. Okay, so click on this one, and then I go to it's not a live CD, so I'm not going to click on that, and I'm going to look for it, and it is Linux Mint, this one. Okay, alright, just want to quickly check here if everything here is okay. You can go through these yourself. 1 gig processor, just one. I'm not going to go into all those now. I'm just going to leave it default for now. Okay. You can also use VMware. You might have heard of VMware. It's similar to Oracle Virtual Box, but I don't think you get a free version that easily. So Oracle VirtualBox is completely free. Enable 3D acceleration. I'm not going to set any of this now because this is just for demonstration purposes to show you how to install it. Okay, and those are obviously settings that you can come back even after you've installed Linux. You can change these settings. So let's click OK. Now if I start it, it's like having a CD or a DVD in your computer DVD or CD drive. Okay, so yeah, so this is now a virtual computer with an empty hard drive but with a DVD in the DVD the player. Okay, and a DVD is a Linux Mint installation DVD. So let's start it. That's like booting up your machine, switching on your machine. Okay, as you saw, I don't want it to automatically boot because there's nothing on it. I'm just going to press enter. Okay, I pressed enter just in time. I first clicked in there with my mouse and then clicked on OK, and then I pressed enter before the time ran out. Okay, so this is now from the DVD. This is reading from the DVD. Okay, so boot from local drive. There's nothing on local drive. I'm going to install Linux on a local drive. So start Linux Mint. Compatibility mode only if you have issues, especially with your graphics card or graphics drivers. Okay, so it's now going to boot up Linux Mint from the DVD. I actually think it is a live Linux Mint live DVD, but the way to install it is you go into you boot up Linux from the DVD, and then from there you can install Linux onto your hard drive, onto your machine. Let's just close this. Okay, so Once the Linux live DVD has booted up, in this case Linux Mint, this is the screen. Well, actually this is Linux Mint, what was it, 18 or 19? Let me check quickly. Linux Mint 18.3, and it's the cinnamon how do you call it? It's a cinnamon desktop version of Linux Mint. Okay, so let's go back. Cool. So you can change the size of this screen. I'm not going to change it now to full screen mode or to any other mode. It's not necessary. So yeah, install Linux Mint. So let's do that. Double click. Let me just see if I can close this. Yeah, okay. English, continue. I mean, this course is mostly meant for people that are very new to Linux. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so it's so the dynamic disk thing is not working. So it's 10.7 gigabytes. Let's go back to settings. Hopefully I can change it without having to shut down Linux. Okay, so let's do that quick. Alright, because you might get a similar issue as well if you don't have the size of the hard drive correct the first time around. Okay, so let's see, let's quit. I can actually just shut down the virtual machine, shut it down, shut down anyway. It's not like I can damage it. Okay, so just waiting for it to shut down. It will return back to the screen automatically. It was just taking a while to shut down. Okay, I pressed enter. Okay, there it's back here. Now that the virtual machine is shut down, I can edit the storage. Okay, as you can see. Okay, I'm just going to delete this and add hard disk, adds optical drive. Now I want to add a hard disk. Create new disk. Linux file location. Sorry about that. There we go. I'm just going to change it to VHD. It's not going to make any difference. I can just leave it on there and increase the size here to 12, and then the installation should work. Should not complain about the hard drive size, but I just want to try the virtual hard disk. As I said, any one of these should work. First go for that one, but I'm just going to use this one, and I'm going to make it 12 gigs. I don't know why it wants that much. It shouldn't, but yeah, let's just see. So that's fine. Great. Okay, cool. I noticed storage. I noticed that's empty. So I need to go back there and Linux Mint. Okay. Just to put the DVD back into there, because you saw at the end of the shutdown of the virtual machine it asked me to remove the DVD and then press enter. Anyway, so let's start. Okay, click, do not show this message again, capture, enter, press the enter button. Okay, start, and then press enter, and then it will load the DVD.